Alright, so I gotta update these names here.
What is going on, everybody? Zap is back.
Oh, the Zap is back. Alright, so do you have these names?
Correct. So we got Tim Palacios from Shenron's Lair.
Oh, okay, okay.
He's hanging out on the left. He's rocking his signature pan deck that he's
Okay, let me see. Before I start typing, okay, Tim.
Tim.
I heard Chin. I don't know why.
Same thing.
But there we go. And then for player 2,
we have Salvador.
Rosas.
R-O-S-A-S. This is
Right.
going to be a pretty interesting matchup. We have Tim playing Pan, patent deck that he's been rocking for almost 6 months now. And Salvador Rosas is playing Soul Striker Goku.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I'm a Soul Striker fanboy. And yeah, I can't wait to see this. So let me just fix the game count here. This is probably the smoothest of anything we've had all day. This is going to get moved here because I figured out how to do this without having to move it every 5 seconds. And we are ready to go.
Yeah.
Zap, take it away.
Definitely. So, there could be some audio. All right.
Static in audio. That's
So it looks like Salvador won that coin flip. So he's taking advantage of Awakening Town Pan. And Tim defends that with double shot for Cheetah. 20k Goku's definitely not going to be able to do that. So this is definitely going to be an interesting matchup. Tim's going to try to find a balance between being very aggressive.
I'm not sure where this feedback is coming from. I turned off the other source. We're getting static for some reason. I'm not sure where it's coming from. Yeah, but the only mic that's queued right now is my mic. It's really bad. You hear it? I mean, it is. We don't need it. Yeah, it has been all day. There's no source of where that sound is coming from. Let me try and do something here. Let me just like leave the source and come back. Yeah. I'm gonna leave the source real quick and come right back. So I'm gonna come back to us real quick, see if this helps. I'm gonna go back to there. Yeah, I'm not sure where that's coming from. Yeah, no, it's still behind.
No, it did.
Oh, it did the transition?
Transition to an ad though. That, your webcam still has on the regular audio.
Alright, let's transition to an ad real quick, guys. Sorry about this.
A new block is here! Shenron Wishes! Series 5 of the Dragon Ball Super card game, Miraculous Revival! Series 5 introduces the new leader skill, Wish! Collect 7 Dragon Balls to wish, summoning the mighty Dragon Shenron!
Slowly bring up our mic to see if it's static is coming from us. Bringing it up slowly again. It's coming from us. Okay, we're gonna mute the mic and we'll be right back. I think we're okay.
I try to hear it.
I have it up pretty high. You would hear it a lot.
It's in the background, but it's much better.
It's better.
Yeah.
So yeah, we really didn't do anything but disconnect and reconnect things.
Dragon Ball Super Players, winner box number 5.
It says play the back to stream where the camera shifted off the last match to Dusty. He went to show off Abiris, and we could have.
Could hear something be ripped off the tape.
Found the judge holding up the
They think that
playmat
Dusty
for
might have hit something at some point.
You can hear
No,
it.
it sounds fine now.
Right.
Yeah,
There's
saved.
definitely a really low tone, but it's much better now.
Yeah, guys, we honestly didn't do anything except for disconnect and reconnect everything.
Playing a video literally wouldn't do that.
All right, everybody.
Unless it's the webcam being the webcam.
Yeah, I don't know. So sorry about that.
Yeah, thanks for all the patience.
I'm gonna turn myself down now. You can hear the stream. So, Zap, can we just talk about how I saw earlier there was like 3 Vegetas, a quick rush Trunks.
There was
Chaos was happening while the sound was being chaotic. What is going on? Have you been keeping track?
I have. So the big play here was Toki Toki. Toki Toki is a 1-cost black card that gives you it's a Swiss Army knife of your 1-drops. What it allows you to do is basically transform any of your 1-drops into any 1K3. So it can be Cronoa, it can be Kami, it can be Demi. And the way the Soul Striker deck is working is that it's using Toki Toki to diversify what kind of 1-drops it plays.
Right.
So what we see is a blue-black variant here. And what that Toki Toki was able to do was able to get a Kami, which cleared those 4 boards and caught Salvador back up from an unfavorable position.
And I apologize. The Chain Zeno animation seems to be a little offset. That was just out of nowhere. Things are just, they work. Sometimes they don't. But somebody said jump scare. But yeah, we did see Chain Zeno get played. It's the first time we've seen it played on stream. I don't know how often it's been happening at this event, but definitely the first time on stream.
Absolutely. Soul Striker versus Pan is a very different matchup now than it was. In previous formats, the best thing Soul Striker do would be play Divine Vanquisher Beerus on 5 in an attempt to try to punish.
Yeah.
But now we have Gogeta 5. To be Ultimate Fusion Gogeta.
Okay, yeah.
And that card's going to allow you to be able to catch right back up after a Cell Check.
Absolutely.
So it'll be really interesting to see how Salvador has adjusted his deck.
Yeah, we can get a little louder. We were just afraid to turn the gain up too much. Or excuse me, not the game, but the level up too much to avoid the static.
Correct, yeah. We're currently in round 4. Tim and Salvador are both 3-0 with their respective decks. Tim, pretty well known as the best Pan player out there. Let
me change
this leader for a while.
The scroll text as well. Here, Zap, you're the one who got these players. Are both of these players 2-0?
They're 3-0.
They're 3-0. Okay, excuse me. Yeah.
Correct.
And we are in round 4, so I'm going to change that information there for you guys on the bottom. That'll help everything be a bit more accurate.
Tim's still at 7 life, having a brawl wall to protect him for a few turns.
Goomba, we actually just changed that, but thank you for mentioning that. Can we talk about how good Figure of Majesty is inside of Soul Striker? Soul Striker at 5 energy automatically gives himself +5, and that's a potential second +5 from Shenron, as well as critical. That's a 25k critical Soul Striker attack.
Correct, and once you run them out of resources, being able to give your battle cards critical is a great way to close the game. You think a 25k Gogeta after drawing 2 and blowing up 2 guys is good? Give it critical while you're at it. So it looks like Tim is using Burst Attack Sun Gohan to try to recuperate. Planet M2 being fantastic tech. Being able to pick off things like the Kami that we see on Salvador's board is going to be incrementally
Dragon Ball Super
very
Players,
powerful.
that is 10 minutes into the match. If you still do not have an opponent from
And there's that Infernal Villainy cell. It's interesting that he chose to play that over Unbreakable. Maybe he plays both. Most of the time when I see Infernal Villainy, when there's no green in the deck, that usually means they play both Unbreakable as well.
So there's a few reasons that I think Cell is better than Unbreakable Goku. For one, it's not a leader, or it's not a Saiyan, which means that it doesn't contribute to the count for Devastator Mass Saiyan.
That's a very good point.
Additionally, the text on Cell is any time that you combo with it, or any time that you play it, which means if they use Clan of Terra Mecha Frieza, and Clan of Terra Mecha Frieza tries to play the Cell, you net a draw from it.
Right.
However, what I would do if I was playing is I would do like 3 and 3, opposed to 4 and 2. And the reason why is when it gets to the late game and you see somebody having 4 copies of a card, you know they don't have any more of it. But as long as you only have 3 copies, they can't make that assumption.
Right.
So it gives you ambiguity on if you play
Oh,
6
and
or 7
speaking
or
of which,
8.
is that 7-drop Gogeta?
Looks like it.
I actually have something for that, and not only do I have something, but I have the official 100% of that guy right there. So I had to definitely run that. And I lowered the audio to all the animations, guys. So hopefully that wasn't too loud. And yeah, on play, Tim is gonna have to send his entire hand to the deck and then draw 3. That was perfect.
Yeah, definitely in a rough situation here. Looks like Tim has a after image technique, which will make sure that Gogeta doesn't go in right now. But if Tim can't find a way to get his hand size back up, this Gogeta is going to keep on swinging 35k crit, triple strike.
Yes.
And that's going to end the game in a
Let me see if I
big
can
way.
pull up that Gogeta here. I'm trying to remember the full name. Yep, Hero Revived.
Correct.
That way you guys can see that on screen. And then also playing the Kami, mostly just to probably get the draw 1 effect from it. But if Tim was... Oh, and another Chain Zeno.
Right, so the play that I was just referencing earlier, I was saying that if you play Clan of Terror and they try to play the Villainy Cell,
right.
The text on Villainy Cell says when you play this battle card, so you net a draw on that
yes.
front. I was not referring to the Black Mass Saiyan. I understand the confusion there. So we got a nice shuffle here. Really interested to see what Tim does. I would argue to say that Tim is definitely on the back foot right now, but that Kaz might be what gets him there. So we got 5 cards in hand. Seems pretty likely that he's gonna take this. Oh no, we got Villainy Cell.
Sure. Okay.
Pretty favorable luck for both players involved. Really excited to see how this match turns out.
All right. Slacking on that Zeno animation. No, there was a reason. I had to ask a question regarding the animation, but we're all good now. So, I mean, if you guys want me to play it this late, I'll do it. But we can wait for their next card to trigger.
Trust me, Tim's gonna resolve Chain Attack Xeno at least one more time in this.
I'm also gonna try and
matchup.
fix its the way it's lined up while the animation is happening. It is so quick that the odds of me fixing it that fast is slim. But I'm gonna try.
So we see a 2-cost Tapion in Salvador's energy. Any idea why he plays that? You know, if I had to take a guess, it'd probably be to try to fuel his discard pile. Because the Gogeta 7 requires 10 cards in your discard.
Yes.
And being able to mill 3 might make that go online a little bit easier.
Yeah, I'm actually not even too familiar with that Tapion because is it Tapion or Tapion?
Your guess is as good as mine, my friend. But
I usually say Tapion. I don't know why I said Tapion that time. I think it's because I thought you said it. So I was like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
well, we can definitely do this one. The Gogeta coming out yet again.
I am the one who will
bringing
destroy
Salvador down
you!
to 2 life. Now that he's resolved 2 Gochetas, taking a damage each time he resolves it. But Tim's still sitting pretty on 6. We see Shenron use the leader, so if the Gogeta does swing, it is not going to be critical. Looks like right now, I think Salvador is in a position to take this back. Curious to see what other outs Tim has for this Gogeta Hero Revived. Tapion is the correct name.
Tapion. Okay, it is Tapion. Okay, it's been a while since I've seen that movie. And I usually say Tapion, but like I said, in that moment, my brain was... I was like, what is it? I started to question everything in life. That was actually really scary. That could have been a potential critical triple strike from the Gogeta.
So Bodyguard Logic giving a free draw. I'm expecting a forcing hit here, and I could see Tim threatening lethal.
Sure, I mean, he's picking up 4 energy.
There's 4 energy.
You might have called it, but I'm seeing...
Chain attack.
Is it happening again?
Fearless Pan, Fearless Pan, Fearless Pan.
Okay,
Digging deep.
It's a digging deep. Okay. So if you guys are not familiar with Chain Attack, it's actually a really good card. It's a controversial card at that. He evolves for 2. It's a 4-drop natively. You get to play any 15,000 or less battle card from your hand. There's a lot of 15,000 or less battle cards in the game, so that's why we were getting so excited because it could have been really anything.
Exactly. So what we're going to see here is we're going to see Pan Awaken. We're going to be at 4 energy and have the opportunity to play a forcing hit now or Fearless Pan. And that's going to be a huge board. Salvador is going to need multiple Sensu Beans to have a shot at overcoming this.
Yep, and there's that Fearless Pan. +5 double strike to every red battle and leader card.
Correct. So we're sitting on 25k Legic. We're sitting on 20k leader. We're sitting on 25k Chain Attack Trunks, and 25k Digging Deep.
That is a big board. That's a very pouful board.
It's going to take multiple senses.
Chain Attack also able to threaten that Shenron Figure of Majesty, seeing as he can attack cards that are in active mode.
Correct.
Planet M2 also still available, so a lot of double strike threats here. I'm very curious to see how our Soul Striker player gets it through this. So Salvador, excuse me.
Correct, yeah. Leader went in, no negates, so he's probably going to go all in.
Every card standing, I don't see why you wouldn't here, based on the cards.
And we scooped around too.
So yeah, going into game 2, both players are undefeated. This is round 4 for the tournament. I mean, Chain Attack Zeno, just a very, very powerful, you know, effect still. Even with all the new cards and all the different ways you can bounce back and all the cards that you can bring out, you know, quicker, it's still just so detrimental in how it could shift the tide of battle.
Correct. You know, the rumors I was hearing through the grapevine was that Storm was going to be everywhere today. That all the try-hard top players, they needed to play Storm to get there. And, you know, there's some evidence that that's not the case. You know, both of these players clearly being evidence of that.
Right.
But in a world where Storm is the deck to beat, Chain Attack Xeno tends to have a poor matchup against that deck.
Sure, because it still has to get to that point where it can play it. And playing something like an Intensifying Power Trunks to try and cheat it out turn 2 is not necessarily something that's not always going to go in your favor.
Precisely. So when we see decks like this, and we hope that Tim is able to dodge Storm, and if he's able to find a solution to that matchup, he could go all the way. So what do you think Salvador is going to need to do with the side deck to accommodate for all these Chain Attack Xenos? Unfortunately,
he doesn't really have too many options in terms of something to disrupt that play. That play is going to happen, but I do see peel-offs in his side. I could see peel-off being an interesting choice to get rid of some of the double strikes that Pan might be giving cards. That might be, based on what I saw from his side deck, his best option, because he could... I guess he could try and remove one double strike, you know, maybe combo and negate others, and then finally remove the last one and then take the last life that might be able to trick his opponent. But he doesn't really have a lot of options playing Soul Striker and playing Mono Blue.
Correct. You know, the one option he could do is if he was siding the 1-cost Black Mask Saiyan.
Yes.
So what that card does is when the Chain Attack Trunks plays the Chain Attack Zeno,
off of the auto.
That triggers the auto, and so whenever that Chain Zeno resets, Tim would be sitting at 3 cards and then draw a card for the leader effect.
Yeah.
Resonating with 4 to 5. Not exactly the best place to be.
And because of how card timing works, if you guys didn't already know, the Black Mask Saiyan, the Dark Power Black Mask Saiyan, excuse me, his auto goes into pending, and turn player auto has to resolve first. Therefore, Dark Power Black Mask Saiyan's auto does not trigger until after Zeno has resolved, which puts the Zeno player in a very awkward position because that leaves him with 3 cards in hand as opposed to the 5.
Exactly. And the stream, you know, bringing up an idea similar to what I was talking about. Being able to give that Go Cheetah critical is a great way to close games out. And you know, I'm not sold that game was winnable given the cards that they had, but I think Salvador could have made it much, much closer. To be honest, I think a lot of people forget about that third effect of Shenron Figure of Majesty.
Yes. Just
because of how powerful the Untapped 2 effect is.
Yeah. I said it earlier, the effect I tend to forget about is playing the 2 or less for free off of Shenron. You know, there's some interesting 2 or less you can play, such as, you know, Courageous Heart Yajirobe and things like that play a huge part in some blue decks.
Players, your Winnabox number 5 is going to start without you.
My favorite pool is the 2-cost Maiden Grand
Yes.
Which allows you on turn 4, you can play that for free, and then you have 4 energy to rank into your 5-drop Ribion and then your 7-drop. And the next turn, you give a critical.
Yeah.
2 random discards, critical swing for 230k.
Very, very powerful combination of effects. I would like to see, in order to help Salvador combat Tim's Chain Zenos, well, not really to combat Tim's Chain Zenos, but at least to combat like things like Fearless Pan, is more of the Vegito, to, you know, keep his life a little bit more healthy, so that when Chain Zeno happens, he doesn't have to be in such a lethal predicament.
Precisely. Another good note is we saw that round 1, Tim was maining Planet M2, as the stream mentions. Planet M2.
There it is right there.
And that's going to be the hard counter for this Black Mask Saiyan tech that we were talking about.
Yes.
Being able to instantly pull that is going to be very, very helpful. Did I see a Black Mask Saiyan in No, I saw
Attention,
time.
Dragon Ball Super
Time
players
Pro
and
Trunks.
side events.
This is going to be an
Draft Box
interesting
12
side deck
is about to
choice.
get
So we do see the
started.
Black Mass Satan in
So
Salvador's
for the 12
hand,
Draft
Yes.
Box
but now it's a
event, you
liability
make your way
because he has a
over
pen and
customer
M2 on the board.
service.
Exactly.
So the best that card is going to do is help him awaken in a pinch.
The most he could do is if he maybe holds on to it, plays 2 in the same turn to try to get around the play around. That would be his best bet. But at this point, unless he uses the card just to help self-awaken, it's essentially dead because of the existence of M2 and the lack of interactions we have with field cards.
Correct. So do we see arguably the best battle, my favorite battle card in the set by far?
I'm glad you said that because I agree, especially when you put it against the other cards in the tournament packs. I think it's probably the best tournament pack card, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, so everybody's Pal Yamcha. I think something I overlooked the first time I read this is I thought you looked at the top 3 when you play it, because that's a common effect.
Yeah.
No, it's every time it swings. So what he's gonna do now, 20k, he's gonna search his deck for another one. He can search for Yamcha at 100%. He can look for his super combo because he plays the Bulma super combo. He can search either part of his Chain Attack Trunks combo.
Yep.
He can get Burst Attack Gohan. He can get
Most of his
Fearless
deck.
Pan.
Yeah.
Fearless Pan. The vast majority of his deck is accessible to him through this card. And now Salvador is in a position where he needs to pressure that Yamcha.
Yes.
And when he's pressuring the Yamcha, that means he's not pressuring the life.
Right.
So whenever the Pan player is able to go Chain Attack Zeno, he has more life and he's in a much more favorable position.
Exactly. And because of that, I don't think the Pan player will be like using things like After Image because they want to protect their life as much as they can. And just as I said it, Salvador playing that Vegito I was mentioning earlier to protect his own life and keep that as healthy as possible to also fight against the Chain Zeno.
So one really big thing I saw that Salvador did at the end of the game 1, which is going to be huge right now. So Salvador could have tried a combo and he could have tried to live like another turn or another 2 turns,
right.
But he knew it was over. What I want to mention is the only Vegito that I believe he saw all game, he didn't combo with it before he lost.
That's fair.
And what that means is Tim has no idea that he was playing the card.
Right.
Now, when I saw Tim going through the side deck, he was playing 2 copies of Terror Assault Frost, which is a hard counter to that Vegito card. But by conceding the game and hiding that information, Tim didn't know to bring that card in for game 2.
Right. And that's a very good point you bring up. And there's the second Everybody's Pal Yamcha that we saw him get. And what's really good about this card is I feel like it finds its maximum value inside of Pan. You get to give it +5. It's 15k or more, so you draw off a Pan's effect, and then you get to add another card to your hand. And as you can see here, just
The third.
just looping it.
And what's huge this time is when that Vegito tries to pressure the Yamcha, we're going to go in on a double shot Vegeta.
Yes.
We're going to defend the card, we're going to net another draw, and bring that board closer to Unbreakable.
Now, at least for now, this should be right. Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, I think we're at 7-5.
Yeah. He still, if he finds that second Black Mass Satan, it'd be really nice because it would also hurt double shot Vegeta as well. But that M2 is still sitting there.
It would, but that is a way that the card will get value.
Choosing to, I think the Mafuba's not a bad call charge because there are multiple attackers here that you usually worry about in a Pan deck and not one big one.
I don't think I would have kept that card in.
The Mafuba?
Yeah. My guess is there's a card in his side deck that would have been more useful.
There's the Figure of Majesty. Most likely going to use it to... Okay, so looking to attack here into Pan. Soul Striker into Pan Leader.
That'll bring him up to as high as 4 life. I guess what would get scary is maybe a second Vegito could be a little bit intimidating.
It could be if he went for it.
But I think what we're just going to see here is a Toki getting a Yamcha. Or not Yamcha, Kami. And he's just going to try to generate some cards. Worst case scenario, he can always use Figure of Majesty if he doesn't want to untap 2.
Right.
He can resurrect his super combo for later.
In order to help protect.
Correct. Dynamic play here by Salvador. The risk here, though, is with Kami on board.
Yeah.
Does he want to blow up his Vegito in the process? I think that card's going to be a linchpin to his success.
I think Kami's meant to be maybe a bit of an intimidation. I think his opponent has the same mindset. It's like, is he really going to blow up his own Vegito? Honestly, the Kami might have just been to get the draw 1. And there's the After Image technique, the new red negate that was introduced in Miraculous Revival. Hmm?
No hyphen.
I think there is.
Oh.
There's something.
Yeah.
There's definitely something.
One of
Maybe it's
the-
just one word.
One of the big thing about After Image that I love is, so it's a unique negate in which it doesn't actually negate the attack. It pumps
Yes.
the leader by a very large amount, 40k, and then sometimes shrinking the attack.
Or whomever, or a battle card as well, not just a
Correct.
leader.
Why that is relevant is if a card says it cannot be negated, After Image Techniques pumps up. So like this gives Pan an out to Victory Strike Goku
Yes.
that the deck didn't have previously.
Right. Yeah, an extra 40k against Victory Strike makes a huge difference.
Also gives you the opportunity to awaken more frequently whenever you're in that kind of situation.
I wonder if he's gonna leave the Kami there and maybe, I don't know.
I don't think he should, because like depending on him too, he's just gonna pop it. But
And there's a chain attack.
I suspect we're gonna see chain attack into digging deep.
Yep.
So this might be the awakening turn. Because he I believe he has one more everybody's Pao Yamcha. So if he does choose to awaken, he has that out.
He's gonna take the 2 life, going
gonna
down
take
to
the 2.
4.
Another interesting play that he could do here is he can go all out and try to get as much life torn down as possible. And then after the fact, he could use his 2 energy on the awaken to chain attack Zeno.
That's true. Yeah.
Or maybe, yep, so we see the untap 2. I think we're going to see a chain attack.
Into Zeno.
Chain attack, or we're just going to see everybody's power. We're going to see him continue to try to push Salvador in, because...
But he needs to be... Well, actually, no, he did get rid of the Kami. I was going to say he needs to be careful because of Kami, but no, yeah, you're
now he can
absolutely
be a
right.
little more liberal. Plus, you know, the fear of Gochita is that you don't have a negate for it. But like at the rate we're going right now, he's not going to be able to play Gochita because there's so many threats on board that he puts himself in a situation where he might just win if he tries it anyway. I'm trying to judge how many cards Salvador is down to. Is he out of a hand? Does he just have 1 card?
Yeah, I can't tell. It looks like he just has 1 card in hand, which I don't see why you would change Zeno here, if that's the case.
Yeah, so you just...
Unless you give him all these cards from life and then go for the chain Zeno.
Right.
Because at that point, that's just 2 cards in hand. No big deal.
So we're going to see an overroam play here. Lights Guide. Time Patrol Trunks.
Time
that's right.
Patrol Trunks. We haven't seen that card yet. We've seen Light's Guide. Time Patrol, just as good. Maybe even better in this case when you're trying to find things like Zeno or whatnot.
Right. So what's useful here is because he didn't have to use an energy to summon his battle card, he's still going to net that draw from Pan, but he's able to play another double shot for Cheetah on defense.
Yes. And then everybody's pal. Like, yeah, people are going to see the power of this card this weekend, and
And we're probably
I'm
gonna
glad.
and we're probably going to hit a super combo here because he hasn't seen any all game.
Yeah, very well placed. And that's the new Sidling Assist Bulma. It's a very interesting name. But there she is. She's another Earthling super combo. She's the one that they added that basically replaced the Vados and the power creep of the super combo that just happened. She's a 0, 10k no matter what. But if your life is F4 or less, you do get to draw 1.
Right. So we're seeing a lot of pressure here this turn, trying to put him in a situation where Salvador, he's gonna have a lot of cards, but he's gonna be he can't afford to risk playing Gochita. So Gochita might not be enough to win the game.
In this case, maybe not. Seeing as how Tim is at 4, and we're seeing Salvador taking life quickly right now. Going down to 2. This is where most Chain Zeno players love to get people is into that double strike range. And even going down to 1, I'm very curious as to why he's choosing to take this life so much. I mean, he is tapped out, and I don't think he had a Dimension Magic now that I'm thinking about it.
You know, I think his train of thought is, you know, he's picturing an out in his head, and I think the out is 5 cost Gochita, Ultimate Fusion.
Yeah, he can't play the 7 drop at this point to get the effect, so the
So-
pressure from Tim was actually really good.
Right, so I think his idea was he either needed to draw into that 5 drop or he was going to lose the game.
Right,
And when he hadn't seen it, he felt compelled to take that life.
exactly.
I think that's the mindset that Salvador brought into this game. 1 cost Blast Mass Saiyan.
He's playing that off of the Shenron ability, it seems, because he didn't tap for it, yeah.
Get to use this next time.
Does it make a sound when it cues? Okay, got it.
It takes us out after.
So there we see the 5 cost. And guess it's gonna bounce Yamcha and Chain Attack Trunks. That makes sense, being able to avoid the Evo.
Attention, Dragon Ball Super Solomon.
It's possible that he may not have any Kamis left. One thought would be just trying to get Kami.
Kami would have been the optimal way to remove the board, considering he only had 2 battle cards of his own. But I think Gogeta is definitely a good play. Gets to send 2 back to the deck and then possibly remove this Digging Deep. But with so many cards in Tim's hand, he has to be fearing what is coming next.
Right. And he did play that Toki Toki, which would have gave him information about where the rest of his 1K 3,000 battle cards are.
Right.
So he may know that Kami isn't an option here.
And playing the double Dark Power Mass Saiyan. That's exactly what I was talking about earlier. Maybe trying to playing a third.
I don't think Tim's going to be playing double shot this turn.
I don't think he's going to be playing anything this turn that's coming off of an auto because, and the Sensu Bean, Salvador doing a very interesting aggressive play. He said, I hope you have 3 Planet M2s because if not.
Basically, he's saying here, if you try to chain attack Zeno me, I'm going to punish you no matter what you do.
Yeah.
Planet M2 stops the first one.
Just to be clear, guys, something like Chain Attack or Digging Deep right now would basically trigger a discard 6, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Let me bring up Dark Power for you guys. So this card states, if you don't already know, its first auto is when you attack. He's like a Kaba or a Pan. You can add a card from your life to your hand and he'll gain +10 for the duration of the turn. His second auto is when your opponent plays a battle card with 15,000 power or less using a non-keyword skill, such as an auto, your opponent chooses 2 cards from their hand and places them in the drop area. So if he were to play out his double shot Vegeta right now, he would also have to discard 6, as each Dark Power Black Mass Saiyan would trigger back to back to back.
So we notice here Tim charged his second Planet M2, which cut off a potential play of swinging with the leader. Planet M2 pops 1, and then you play a battle card like the Trunks. The Trunks swings, or then you play a second Planet M2.
Yeah.
And that could have popped a second Black Mast, in which case then Chain Attack Zeno becomes much more viable.
Yeah, because if he were to Chain Attack right now, he would have to discard the entire hand that he draws off of Zeno.
But it seems like Tim doesn't think that's the line of play. So we see 2 energy. I saw Forcing Hit in Tim's hand. At 1 life, anything that he can play is going to be helpful here. But he may be just about out.
I'm sure Tim was wishing he had played a Foreseeing Hit so he could see this Dark Power play coming, but unfortunately, he's facing. Yep.
Needs to draw an Overwhelm card here, and no, he draws a 3rd Chain Attack Trunks, perhaps a 4th. So we're going to see this turn end with Tim playing everybody's Pao Yamcha and trying 1 more time to go in for lethal damage. And we don't have the negate, but we do have at least 2 pseudo super combos here.
But Tim has a lot of cards in hand, and finding the Sidling Assist Bulma super combo off of this, and this is why I'm just saying this Yamcha card is so good, guys. If you're sleeping, you need to wake up. Because this card is insane.
Yamcha is everybody's pal, but Tim's best friend.
And Salvador's worst enemy right now. However, he do not have as much combo power as he would like, in the fact that if he plays even 1 double shot. Well, actually, no, it doesn't matter because double shot's auto doesn't trigger to the end of battle.
Correct.
So he actually could play double shot here.
So what we're probably going to see here is he's out of energy, but probably going to see a combo somewhere in the space of 50 to 60, I'm thinking.
That was 15, 25, 35, 45, 55, 60. And I think, yeah, he's basically saying you either have it or you don't at this point.
Correct.
Because he is facing a discard 6 at the end of battle if he does choose a combo double shot. So yes, this would be the rest of Tim's hand basically going to the drop.
Correct.
At the end of battle.
And he combos the 2 Zeno for lols. So that looked like 70k, not to mention the M2 hitting 10. I don't think Salvador is going to be able to get here, but 15, 25, 35. I see 2 objections. That's 45. He needs to rip 3 more of those in a row.
basically, I just have to go to your tactic here. You're going to basically be the
15,
one.
25, 35, 45, 55.
I will say go when he's marked up.
He may be able to combo his board and get there.
Once that finishes, I'll play that. I'll be right back. Okay.
So Tim was not able to close that out. He was able to combo the Black Mass Saiyans. And put him in the
Salvador was forced to combo before they could.
He was.
Oh, no.
However, now we're in a situation where Tim has 4 life still. Salvador is on his last.
But Tim has, what, 2 cards in hand?
But I believe they're both objections.
I think this is 100% doable. Yeah. At
Yep.
this point, you use the Figure of Majesties to give one of these Gogetas critical.
Correct.
Deny him those 2 cards. Swing for the last double strike. You could also swing at the Everybody's Pal Yamcha to get your restand on Soul Striker as well.
Correct. But what Salvador doesn't know is that Tim has an after image.
Interesting. Okay.
So we didn't see the crit play. That's a little fortunate, I think.
I'm not sure why he didn't do the crit. Maybe he's trying to bait out an after image and then deny him the 2 cards.
Yeah, he runs a risk.
He didn't play it.
I think we saw a super combo off the hit, as well as a 2-cost critical trunks.
Oh, he's actually choosing to play something.
Is he gonna play a super combo?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I would have gone with the critical.
I think this might have just gone south.
He needs to hope he draws something like a Sensu Bean off of this Soul Striker attack, which I hope is into Everybody's Pal.
Yeah, because yeah.
Oh, Tim is doing this perfectly right now. Salvador had a much better play, I feel like. He didn't go for it. Hopefully he can recover.
Yeah.
None of which are Sensu. That is very unfortunate.
And I think the lesson from
I
this
also
game.
don't think he drew a card off of Figure of Majesty. Sorry not to cut you off, but it just came to mind. Well, actually, no, it might still be it. He might still have it.
So looking 25, 35, 45, 50, 55.
He does still have it. Okay.
Tim was able to clean up after a questionable sequencing play.
So Salvador did end up getting that.
Correct. So we're going into game 3. I'm going to guess we probably have maybe 15 minutes left in the round.
Something like that. Yeah, we are going into time. And just to reiterate, guys, time rules for this event are 0, 1, 2, 3 again, but you only have 10 minutes to complete those turns.
So back to my comment previously, I think watch Tim here as he most likely brings in his 2 Terror Assault Frosts. As we talked about, Salvador did a really good job of hiding those in game 1.
Right.
We definitely see both copies of Assault Frost there.
Which are also chain attack targets.
Correct. Looks like he opted not to bring them in, surprisingly. Tim is the master when it comes to this archetype, so I'm gonna take his word for it that he's making the right call.
Shouts out to the 737 viewers. I didn't see that. We jumped up another 100 viewers.
You guys are killing it.
Yeah. Stepping a little bit closer to the 1,000. I'm still trying to post here and there on social media. We're so close.
Yeah. So one of the interesting things about Soul Striker compared to Gogeta, I know a lot of people are considering Soul Striker versus Gogeta.
Right.
Soul Striker being able to draw 2. There's not a lot of draw 2 leaders that are really picking up steam right now. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I mean, it's just way too efficient to get the restand too. It allows you to extend plays. It allows you to defend yourself when somebody is, like a Storm deck is attacking you just relentlessly. So it's hard to find the love and draw 2s, but that's what makes Soul Striker so great, is you kind of get the best of both worlds.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody mentioned Marcel Russell. It's unfortunate that he was not able to make it. I have heard from a little birdie that he was going to play Janemba today. Shame to say, I would have loved to see that perform, but Janemba making a big splash at these top tables. I will not be surprised if we see one in the next round or 2.
Yeah, Janemba's a very scary deck, and I was in testing and helping some of my friends and things like that were coming out here. We had discussed how we don't have many tools to combat what Janemba does, and that's what makes him so powerful. So if you know your matchups and you play your deck very well, I could see Janemba taking this, simply because the only card that has interacted with drop back to deck is Dangerous Journey Bulma, but that is only working for the Shenron leaders, which there are only 5 of. if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, I think Janemba has a great place to potentially take the entire event.
Oh, really? Marcel playing Shenron Bu. Yeah, no, that's a deck that I have 2 decks that I brought to this event if I was going to play. I had Storm and I had blue yellow Shenron Bu.
Really?
I think Shenron Bu is the best of 1 deck in the format.
That's fair. Okay.
Now there's a couple variants of that. I'm playing what I call blue Bu.
Right.
So I'm focused specifically on the blue chain.
Right.
But there's also versions that focus more on just the red stuff.
Sure.
Going into Grand Evil Absorption and
Yep.
putting Gohans, as well as a red-blue variant focusing on going full of energy Bu into the ultimate evil.
Let me reset the life here, guys, as everyone is starting to finish their mulligans and whatnot. Hopefully I've been doing a better job keeping you guys informed with information of what's going on, game counts, live count. Sometimes I get so into the commentary itself, I will forget. Well, there we go. Initially taking a life with Pan. It looks like Tim did just do a charge, play M2, pass, and he charged another M2, so he got the full value of those cards in that moment.
So what do we think is the optimal turn 2 play here? Do you think it's just everybody's pal?
I think everybody's pal is not only deck thinning, like I said, you draw essentially 2 cards off of it. You get to pick what you want. You start to set up what Pan is essentially a combo deck. You know, chain attack linking for multiple targets. You want the digging deeps in the right situations. You want the Zeno in the right situation. So yeah, I think everybody's pal is the best turn 2 play. And as I said earlier with Dusty, turn 2 is still a comfortable place to tap out if you're not playing against Storm. So yeah, everybody's pal Yamcha is the play here.
So he's playing Time Patrol Trunks over Time's Guide because it's another Earthling target.
That's true. Exactly. So he can find his overrun cards as well with Yamcha.
So we're swinging in 20k. We also saw Tim draw his first super combo off his leader trigger. So I suspect Pan's going to swing. We're going to M2 to 15. And unless we brought in like Gohan or something.
There's the Infernal Villainy Cell.
I was going to stop that. Fair enough. Good to get one of those out of the way now.
Oh, noticing Salvador is playing the 6-drop Dragon Fist Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I didn't notice that in the last 2 games. Maybe a 1 of, 2 of. I don't see it being more than a 2 of.
Right. But I mean, these games can go to turn. I mean, they've gotten to turn 6, I believe, both games, or at least Salvador was able to hit 6 after you consider objection.
Pan's going to go ahead and attack into the Yamcha.
I suspect Tim's probably not going to be able to afford to protect it. Bold.
But using the card he found off of Yamcha to protect it.
Yeah.
He's going to force Salvador to have to combo something if he does want to get rid of that Yamcha. I don't know if this swing is into Yamcha. Choosing to super combo. He's not at 4, so this is just an additional 10. And Tim actually responds with a super combo of his own. He said, I can play that game. That's fine.
Very bold. Tim realizes that in a simplified game state, his deck has the advantage.
Yeah, and that was a very just veteran play, I feel like, in the sense of, if you're going to get rid of one, I'm fine getting rid of one in the same sense.
Right, and that's what I like about these new super combos. You know, some people argue that it's power crept. You used that statement earlier. I look at it as more as you're giving the super combos more options.
Right.
And when a card has more options, it becomes more skill intensive.
Right.
Because when you have multiple lines of play, the skillful player is the player that makes the best decisions. So giving more choices increases the complexity. It doesn't increase the complexity.
Right.
But increases the considerations you have to make.
Very true. And Tim actually taking advantage of the low energy and not, the potential for not having many responses to this. This is a 25k, I believe, Yamcha. This is the first card that attacked, so he gets the +5 from Pan. Well, actually, no, sorry. Pan, the Fearless Pan got the +5 in the card draw. So this is still a 20k Yamcha attacking.
And he's probably going to use the M2 here as well.
Then using the super combo again, this is only the 10k, not the draw. That is a very interesting play, but I think he really wants this double strike.
I think he's setting up for the turn 4 Chain Attack Zeno. So he's trying to overextend his hand now.
Salvador does have a bean. He actually does have another one. Might choose to use it here. That'll put a lot of disruption on. But he chooses to bean and take the life, bringing himself down to 3, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe 4, actually. We'll say 4. choosing to awaken on the pan swing. That's going to making him 20k because of the Senzu bean. And he still has 2 other beans in hand.
Right. Big deal.
But choosing to combo with the Gogeta Heroes revived.
Interesting play here. So we see multiple beans as well as Shenron.
How do you feel about Pan tapping out in that moment? Not really to get... I mean, he brought him down. He brought Salvador down to 3. Excuse me, Tim. I hate saying the leader name. Tim brought Salvador down to 3. But how do you feel about tapping out in that sense, especially if you're not sure if you're going to awaken?
I'm fine with it because he has the blocker.
True. He does have, and it's a barrier blocker at that. So, yeah, not a bad idea. I like the play here. He might have another Mass Saiyan, which is why he's playing this out the way he is.
Right. I expect this play to go.
He does have another Mass Saiyan.
Yeah. Untap 2. Shenron untaps 2.
No, Shenron played the Mass Saiyan, actually.
Oh,
he had to tap 4 for the Shenron.
So he may be trying to play a second one with a combination of Bean and the leader effect.
Yes.
But I also saw the 4-cost Vegito that I think he also wants to get on the board this turn.
I don't think he'll get all of that, though. I think he's going to go for the Mass Saiyan here. But not swing. He doesn't need to swing. He could just double bean himself, and that's going to put a lot more, pressure on Tim to play more cards. Not a bad play. I'm loving the double Black Mass Saiyan plays.
Right. So are those 2 unbreakables, or do we have the chain attack in hand, or was that an unbreakable?
Stream is saying that Salvador's at 3, so let me update that.
Looking at 3. He can get Time Patrol Trunks, or he can't get Digging Deep, so Time Patrol was his only option there.
What a powerful choice.
I would argue it was a good one, yeah.
Slater, I agree. More decision trees allows more skillful players to gain advantages. I agree. I think we're in probably the most skillful format that we've had because there are so many different options and so many different ways to not necessarily directly interact with your opponent, but things like Dark Power Mass Saiyan is essentially an interaction. It's like a soft interaction.
Right.
You're forcing your opponent to have to play a certain way. There's the M2 getting rid of 1, but a Chain Zeno here still wouldn't be optimal.
Senzu Bean and then a combo on a card, maybe that 1-cost Pan that you see at the front of his hand.
Yeah. Oh, this could be a foreseeing hit. Nope, going for a chain attack, and he chooses to do the Zeno,
which will put it 4 on 5. However, Tim has a 3 life benefit. Or no, actually, did he play the Time Patrol Trunks?
He didn't play the Time Patrol.
Okay, so he won't have the +1.
I want to make sure that they pay attention to the Dark Power Black Mass Saiyan auto is impending right now. Correct. Once Tim draws 5, he has to discard 2.
Right. And then...
because even though Zeno blanks the card, Dark Power triggered when Chain Attack triggered. And that auto is already impending.
Right. But the important thing to note here is I believe Pan is going to draw first. Because turn player's triggering.
True. So he'll have more options of what he might want to discard.
Right, so it'll be draw to 6 and then discard 2.
I'm really paying attention to how this is done. Pan draw still hasn't happened. Okay, so... I guess unless he drew 6 automatically. He probably drew 6 and then... Okay. So that was carried out correctly. So shouts out to the players for being on top of that.
A clean gameplay.
Salvador, I think, did draw 2 more Black Mass Saiyans, though. I definitely saw 1 in his hand.
Get some pictures of the giant cards. We will see what we can do about that.
Oh, wow. Actually ended up getting the Figure of Majesty right back, and he's going to be able to bring back that Dark Power Mass Saiyan, play the second one in his hand, and then swing at the Zeno.
I don't know if that's the mentality I would take with this matchup, but he's definitely playing a long game.
I think he's feeling like Pan is going to eventually run out of steam, and then he can maybe put a lot of big pressure because Pan's overall removal right now has been Zeno, right? So it's like, play all the Zenos you want, force you to discard, and then maybe he can start dropping 5-drop Gogetas, give them critical, and start denying those extra cards that Tim has at his disposal.
You know, one card I would have loved to see Tim have right now is the new Tournament Pack Baba, which is a 1-cost battle card if you want to pull it up.
Right.
Which says whenever you play it, you can pick 1 battle card on the field and shrink it by 5k.
What is it? It's something Seer Baba. I'm just going to put Seer Baba. That'll come up, yeah. There you go.
Right.
Fortune Teller Baba Earth Seer. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, this is the card you're referring to, right?
Right,
Yeah, this
yeah.
card is incredibly strong. It's a +5 to any Earthling battle card or leader, red specifically. Then when you combo with this card from the battle area, you get to -5 one of your opponent's cards and draw a card.
Correct.
It's basically a +10. It's basically a super combo if you use an Earthlings.
Right, and what he could be doing here is he could swing with the Pan Leader, M2 blows up the first Black Mass Saiyan, Baba blows up the second, draw a card.
Yeah. And does he have the Baba, or is this just hypothetical?
He doesn't.
Talking? Okay.
But this is a card I would love to see him have right now.
For sure, and a side option for sure. Just M2ing the Dark Power Black Mass Saiyan, but does he have an answer for the second one? Excuse me, you're right. It was the Dash Pack Baba, not TP.
Yeah.
You are correct.
You can tell how many tournament packs I've won. Clearly, I'm not that great.
Well, thank you for the kind words, Super Jedi.
Yeah. Time of Troll Trunks.
Gigiatin, that is Marcus, that is HD. That is I. Your savior. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, this is definitely a very good game. We can see why these players are undefeated in their respective matches.
Correct. Time for Trunks doing some pressure here. Salvador at approximately 4 cards in hand. Gonna take the super combo there. That's
I'm absolutely loving the Soul Striker deck too.
Box 7, your event is ready to start. Please go to the customer service desk. Winner box number 7 is ready to start. Please go to the customer service desk.
Did I see the 5-cost gets? I think he got to it.
Charging another 6-drop Goku. I'm assuming that's both of them. I don't see why he would run any more. So not a bad
4,
charge.
5, yep, we got there.
Gogeta. There he is. That's the 5-cost Gogeta. Ultimate Fusion Gogeta, if I'm not mistaken. He gets to send 2 cards back to his opponent's deck. Draw 2 cards. Very powerful card. Playing the second Black Mass Saiyan, denying the auto plays.
Right.
I don't know if he played it off of Majesty.
He used the Shenron trigger to resurrect
I want him
right?
to use the criticals more, but I get why he's trying to keep the Black Mass Saiyan on board. I think he notices that his opponent is not playing Kami.
Right, because he can only kill 1 at a time, right?
And a third Dark Power Black Mass Saiyan with a pass. That is... Wow. He's really trying to punish any kind of chain attack play. And Tim does have access to Chain Zeno again, but, I mean, do you even bother with 2?
Yeah, the problem is he needs to find a way to... I wonder if he raw summons Chain Attack Trunks here just to attack into one of them.
That's fair. Ooh, and we're seeing the championship pack Vegeta.
Let's go.
I'm gonna have to look up again. Oh, this is
right. So he's like Jiren.
Is it Victory Obsessed?
Glory Obsessed.
Glory Obsessed.
Glory Obsessed is able to attack. He's able to attack into these Black Mass Saiyans.
I really like this actually.
30k and 20k, and that's quickly gonna start demolishing these.
That's gonna get rid of all of them if it plays out perfectly. Yeah, M2 the other one. Second one dies.
The problem is he needs to kill all 3 in one turn, or otherwise he's gonna continue this loop of resurrecting it with the Shenron and constantly having 2 on board.
Well, he does have a second attack with the Vegeta. I don't see why he doesn't use it on the Dark Power Mass Saiyan, because now that means you can only get 1 out per turn, because I don't think Salvador runs 4 of them.
Yeah. I'm honestly surprised he didn't use that Mafuba there. I can't find a better Mafuba in the matchup, or a better target for Mafuba in the matchup.
To be honest, you make a very valid point. I think Mafuba was probably his best option there, but maybe scared of...
Oh, but maybe he proves us wrong.
That's true. Maybe scared of either something that was a bigger threat or something that was going to help Tim awaken.
Exactly.
But he still gets to take the card. So I don't know if that was a good choice. Right. He does prevent the chain attack.
Yeah.
But does he? Does Tim just tap out here?
All Tim needs to do now is resolve that after image in his hand. He's going to be able to cut that back down to 0. And we both know that Salvador can't afford to spend the whole turn not attacking.
This is actually a really good game. I can't even say that the Mafuba was wrong or right. There's so many reasons why it's both. You know?
Correct.
So
Salvador in a situation
and also, I completely forgot, guys. I am so rude. The Mafuba. It's the first time I've seen it.
So, oh no, Tim actually totally... Did he skip on the attack? Or did he just pass quickly?
I don't know. He should have done that. Did he not restand the Vegeta?
Perhaps he played Gogeta and then passed?
No. We're still on Tim's turn here, I believe.
Okay.
But I'm wondering why he didn't use the second attack. Why is there still...
I see.
Oh, he ended up comboing with the Dark Power Max in anyway.
Wow.
So that almost worked out in Tim's favor if he did make a mistake and not carry out the Glory Obsessed auto, but...
So now Tim's feeling like he won his game plan, right? He's completed his game plan. Now there's no more than one Massane that's going to hit board.
What a great charge from Salvador, that late game objection.
Yeah.
I agree with what somebody else said.
is-
Oh, the full 7. We're going to get to play out the other Gogeta.
I am the one who will destroy you!
This is going to be bold. Tim needs to get into an after image here.
So I think what you do here is, right, you give Gogeta crit.
Anthony
The
Lavelle,
5
you are
drop.
needed for your
I think you give the 7 drop crit.
Anthony
That's triple strike.
Lavelle, please report to your win-a-box
And then
turn.
you win with either or. Okay.
You either go for game or you finish out, you get rid of the board with your
But
leader and Gogeta.
And Soul Striker can go for lethal, yeah.
Right. I mean, yeah, he drew into, it looks like a forcing hit, maybe a super combo.
Not the play he's going for yet. So he's going to try to get up real high with double cell, maybe?
I disagree with giving him a card here. If this is at leader, I don't see why you don't use Figure of Majesty to give the 7 drop crit. I feel like he's missing that opportunity a lot.
Right, so Salvador went down to 2 life.
Yeah, I'm about to do
at
that
the
right
expense
now.
of that.
I looked at it at the exact same time you said
Yeah.
that. I'm just like super into what's happening right now.
This is a very dynamic match.
Vegeta had 1 attack negated. Oh, okay. I did not notice that.
So Tim's currently at 4 life.
Yeah, Tim's currently at 4. You're absolutely right. And now going down to 3, he did take that Soul Striker attack. Yeah, it's one of those moments where I don't want to give you that 1 card because that sounds like the 1 card you could potentially negate me with. You know, if you didn't
Right.
already have
Did
it.
we get to the after image?
I'll be so upset if that is after image he got off of that single life.
Doesn't look like it.
Going for the all-in here. There was a safer all-in on a single striker, but then at the same time, it wasn't safer in the sense of...
Right. Oh, and he drew the after image.
Wow. Drew the after image way too late, and Soul Striker at Salvador
One
do
card too
take
late.
game 3.
Is that over?
Yeah. Excellent game from Salvador.
Very tight.
Salvador
play on
run.
both
Soul
sides.
Striker Goku. Excellent game. What are your thoughts on that, Zap?
That was the, I haven't watched that matchup too much, and it was incredibly dynamic. I loved seeing it.
I'm ready when you are. All right, guys, we're gonna be moving on to some the interview here in just a moment. I want to make sure. Right, we're doing a bit of behind-the-scenes action. We're actually, to be honest, we're a little afraid to go to the webcam. We're being quite honest with you. Hi, how you doing? We're right here. This is another way that we can talk. You guys get to see a little bit what's going on. Got this cool background behind us. You get to see it in all of its glory.
It's a beautiful event, man. Beautiful event.
But we're gonna be.
Talk about the match. Buy me 2 minutes.
Yeah. So let's talk about the match.
So I think what we saw there is that if Soul Striker is able to grind, actually the longer the game goes,
Yes.
the more it seems to favor Soul Striker.
Right.
Being able to hard cast your seven cost hero revived.
Right.
That is what won him that game. Other than that, I think we saw a lot of work by everybody's pal.
Mhm.
At the beginning of the match,
Yeah.
we made the same. That's one of the best battle cards that come into this format.
Absolutely.
This game 100% demonstrated that. I think he drew 3 super combos off of it over the course of those 3 games. It was very, very powerful. Pan's still able to compete in this meta. I don't know if that's something that was still on everybody's radar.
Right.
But
I think Pan she has a draw on her and her opponent's turn. She has great Earthling targets right now, or excuse me, just cards in general, but Earthling cards that are supporting Pan is what I'm trying to say. And they synergize with her leader ability so well. She's a restand 2 leader like we had discussed. So there's really nothing wrong with her right now because she has the red support that she needed.
10 minutes to
So,
complete.
I think it was very important.
And I think the other thing that we really saw,
Again, Dragon Ball Super players as time of the match. You now
looking
have
at the
10
crowd out
minutes to
there,
complete
look at
the
all
end
those
of match
those
procedures.
judges.
I don't think you guys got to
Discussing.
see these cameras as much. We're still prepping for the interview with the winner,
We are.
which was Salvador once again,
Yeah.
playing Soul Striker. I'm glad to see Soul Striker. He's 4-0 right now
He is.
in this national event.
Yeah, That was not on my.
That was round 4.
Yeah.
That was round 4, and that was a mono blue Soul Striker. Just so that goes to show you how strong mono blue still is.
It is scary, man. Very scary.
So, oh, okay. So we're gonna cue the mic here. You ready?
You need transition.
Yeah, we're good. He's really low.
I went to a tournament, Pen didn't do so hot. So I was just, you know what, I'm going to go back to the thing that I've been testing for the past 2 weeks, Soul Striker. If I can win with that, it's going to take me to the top. If not, then we went in there trying hard.
Experience triumphing over everyone's skillful techs?
Yeah, pretty much. I want to say Soul Striker is more like a 50-50 deck. And if I can outplay my opponent, and I feel like the deck is really, really good. Especially like you know the card, like the deck in and out. So that's pretty much what's like, it's carrying me right now. I know my deck, and I feel like I've been playing my opponents.
Nice. Yeah. How are you enjoying Columbus?
Actually, it's been pretty good. The weather's kind of sucking. Like when we're going up here, Texas is getting cold. We were hoping it was going to be some heat, but I forgot. Columbus, Ohio, all this area gets like really, really cold.
You literally picked the worst time.
Yeah, we did. That's what they were telling us. The winter time, November, it's horrible up here.
Who do you think is going to be your biggest obstacle in this room this weekend for becoming the national champion?
Storm and androids, but I want to give it to, I think androids, I think I can outplay it, but Storm is the hardest matchup. I do not want to see any Storm, so if I can dodge Storm for the next 3 rounds, I think I'm good.
I don't want to be the guy to tell you, but there's a lot of Storm here.
That's what I've been hearing, man. There's a lot of Storm in the top tables. I'm just gonna see if I can hit him, I'll hit him. If I dodge him, I dodge him.
Any shout out to him, give?
Yeah, I want to shout out to my buddy Nick. He's actually the one that built the list. We're playing the same 60 today. I think right now, last time I saw him, he was like 2-1. But yeah, shout out to him for helping me build this.
Awesome. We're going to send it back to Marcus at the desk. Once again, congratulations. Good luck the rest of the event.